Hello everyone. Welcome back to this channel. On this occasion, we will once again discuss several leaks that I managed to find and that I think are quite interesting to talk about. As usual, this information comes from a fairly credible source, namely Hakushin. Alright, without further delay, let's get straight into the discussion. How are you all doing? I hope you are all healthy and doing well. In the previous discussion, we already went over Sparkle's buffs in the 4.0 v1 beta in fairly detailed fashion. This time, we will continue by moving on to the next character who also received major adjustments in the second Nova Flare, namely Blackswan. Unlike Sparkle, who mainly received improvements in terms of utility and support flexibility, Blackswan underwent a very fundamental identity change, especially in how Arcana works and how she interacts with DOT effects overall. Let's start with her basic attack. In the old kit, Blackswan's basic attack only dealt wind damage equal to 60% of her attack to a single target, with a base 65% chance to apply one stack of Arcana. In addition, if the target was already affected by wind shear, bleed, burn, or shock, there was an extra chance to apply additional Arcana stacks. This made the basic attack a minor source of Arcana. However, in the buffed version, Blackswan's basic attack has been drastically changed. It now only deals wind damage equal to 100% of attack to a single target, with no Arcana application mechanics at all. A similar change also applies to her skill. In the old kit, Blackswan's skill was one of the most important sources of Arcana, as it not only applied Arcana to 3 targets but also reduced their defense. In the buffed version, the skill's damage and defense reduction effects are fully retained, but all Arcana-related mechanics have been removed from the skill. One of the biggest and most decisive changes occurs in her ultimate. In the old kit, Blackswan's ultimate functioned as the key to maximizing Arcana, because Epiphany caused Arcana to be treated as all types of DOT and prevented Arcana stacks from resetting once. The old ultimate mainly served as a lock to prevent Arcana damage from dropping sharply. In the buffed version, this concept has been completely reworked. The ultimate still applies Epiphany for 2 turns and still deals AoE wind damage equal to 120% of attack. However, while Epiphany is active, every time Arcana gains 1 stack, there is a fixed 50% chance to gain an additional stack. Furthermore, Arcana is no longer halved after dealing damage at the start of a turn. As a result, the ultimate now acts as an Arcana acceleration mode rather than merely a stack stabilizer. Arcana can continue to grow and remain at high values while Epiphany is active. Blackswan's new identity is most clearly reflected in her talent. In the old kit, Arcana could only be added when enemies took DOT damage at the start of their turn, and after dealing damage, Arcana stacks would reset back to 1. In addition, extra effects such as adjacent damage and defense ignore were only active at certain stack thresholds. In the buffed version, every time an enemy takes DOT damage, there is a base 65% chance to gain 1 Arcana stack. Enemies with Arcana are now automatically considered to be affected by wind shear, bleed, burn, and shock without requiring Epiphany from the ultimate. Arcana's damage scaling remains the same as before, but after damage is calculated, Arcana stacks are now halved instead of being reset to 1. This makes Arcana damage decrease gradually rather than dropping sharply. Moreover, Arcana now always ignores 20% of the target's defense and always deals adjacent damage without requiring any specific stack count. Arcana can even overstack beyond its maximum limit, although excess stacks will be removed after damage calculation. This makes Arcana a very consistent, stable, and much easier to maintain source of damage. Next, we move on to changes to her traces. The first trace has been completely reworked. Previously, this trace only added Arcana when attacking enemies with her skill. Now, every Blackswan attack, whether it's a basic attack, skill, or ultimate, has a 65% chance to directly apply 5 Arcana stacks. This is the main reason why Arcana mechanics were removed from her basic attack and skill, since all of Blackswan's attacks can now generate large amounts of Arcana. This change allows Blackswan to be extremely skill point positive while still consistently applying Arcana stacks. The second trace also received a significant buff. Previously, this trace applied Arcana when enemies entered the battlefield and had a base 65% chance to apply additional Arcana when enemies took DOT damage from ally attacks. In the buffed version, in addition to still applying Arcana when enemies enter battle, this trace now has a 100% base chance to inflict defense reduction from her skill. Even when Blackswan uses her basic attack or ultimate, there is also a 100% base chance to reduce defense. In other words, Blackswan can now maintain near-perfect defense reduction uptime without constantly using her skill, further strengthening her position as a highly skill point positive character. The third trace has also been expanded in scope. Previously, the damage increase based on effect hit rate only applied to Blackswan herself. Now, this effect provides a damage increase to all allies based on Blackswan's effect hit rate, up to the same maximum value. Since this effect applies to all allies, Blackswan herself also benefits from it. Lastly, we discuss the changes to her Eidolons. Unlike Sparkle, who only received one Eidolon change, Blackswan received major adjustments to several of her key Eidolons. The second Eidolon receives a very strong buff. Previously, this Eidolon only transferred Arcana to nearby targets when an enemy was defensiated. Now, every enemy that enters the battlefield immediately receives 30 Arcana stacks instantly. This is an enormous power spike, especially in multi-wave content such as pure fiction. The fourth Eidolon has also been changed to be far more consistent. Previously, energy regeneration could only be triggered once during Epiphany. Now, while Epiphany is active, enemies take 20% increased damage, and Blackswan regenerates 8 energy every time an enemy takes a turn or is defensiated. This effect can trigger repeatedly as long as Epiphany remains active. Finally, the sixth Eidolon has also been strengthened. Previously, there was a 65% base chance to inflict one Arcana stack when allies attacked enemies, and a fixed 50% chance to inflict one additional Arcana stack when Blackswan applied Arcana. Now, the maximum Arcana cap is increased by 20, bringing the maximum stack count to 70. In addition, every time Blackswan inflicts one Arcana stack, she automatically gains one additional stack with no fixed 50% chance involved. This makes Arcana scaling at Eidolon 6 far more explosive and consistent. Overall, buffed Blackswan undergoes a massive gameplay transformation. She no longer relies on her skill as the main source of Arcana, but instead on her talent and traces, allowing Arcana to continuously build even while playing very skill point efficiently. The change from resetting to having Arcana stacks makes damage decay gradually rather than disappearing instantly, while her ultimate now truly functions as an Arcana acceleration mode that pushes her damage to new levels. Combined with team-wide damage buffs and much stronger Eidolon scaling, this will make triple DOT teams even more powerful. Alright, that's all for now, everyone. So what do you think about Blackswan's buffs in the 4.0 V1 beta? Please write your thoughts in the comments section. And don't forget to share this information with your friends who also play Honkai Star Rail. Make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss any important updates. See you in the next update.